Good evening and hello everyone. This is Dream Books Films bringing you and all the writers, aspiring ones, authors, an exclusive mentor program, a boutique creative know-how consulting team at your disposal anytime online. Come figure out the secrets of how to turn the story in your head into a book, into a film, or a web series that will bring you rewards, recognition, happiness, and of course, money. Countless people today are celebrated authors and have their books turned into films and OTT content, like we are all watching today, with not even half as much as talent, I'm sure that you have. You've always dreamt to be there, but have never quite brought yourself up to it. Now is the time. Today, I'm having the pleasure from Dream Books and Films of inviting and having a quick chat on certain amount of those questions that you have been sending to us regarding Dream Books Films mentoring program and the one-on-one or face-to-face that you can have with our chief advisor and mentor on the program, Mr. Brahmanand Singh. He's a celebrated award-winning filmmaker. So we're very proud and privileged to have him on our faculty and fraternity to be able to guide us on this journey and navigate this from concept, dream, story to a completed web series, film, or just getting a market-ready content and a story. So I'm going to turn the camera over now to Mr. Brahmanand Singh ji. A brief background is in place to introduce him. He is a Rex Karmavi Chakrawadi and a national award-winning producer, filmmaker, author, and speaker, like you all know. He's a veteran in the film industry and he's known for his expertise and ideation capacity in developing projects, exploring tie-ups, license, funding, impact, festivals, markets, and business opportunities. He wears different hats at any point in time, and like that of an entrepreneur, producer, filmmaker, writer, and mentor, he currently helms countless projects from start to finish and has known and is helping many people learn the business and under his expert guidance and the nitty-gritty of how these projects are developed. He is very well known for making award-winning feature films. I'm sure that many of you have watched and enjoyed, and feature documentaries like R.D. Burman's Pancham Unmixed, Jagjit Singh's Kagas Ki Kashti, human trafficking and child labor, nicknamed as Chalki, and backpacking, traveling, educational excellence, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and many others riveting topics. By now, you must be really looking forward and intrigued as to understanding certain questions and getting clarity in the mind to some of those things that we'd like to learn in the program from him. And so in this 10-minute conversation, we're going to understand certain insights and gems that will guide us on this path. He is a much sought after consultant, and we're very proud and happy to have Mr. Brahmanand Singh on our panel today and our fraternity faculty. I'm going to turn the camera over now and bring him on stage. I just hope we haven't missed out on a connection. So, are you there? Mm, I think he's lost connection. We'll just give it 2 minutes to understand if he's back on screen. Yes, he is back on screen, and I'm going to put him on the screen now. Just a minute and take out the banner, which is the picture on him representing our dream books and films. Bring him alive. So you're live, and good evening, and welcome to Dream Books and Films, to our guiding panel today, which is just 10 minutes. But over to you. So
Good evening. Yes. Can you just give me the question that you I might have missed?
yes,
Hello, 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 hello. You keep going in and coming out. Yes.
yes.
The sound keeps going out and coming in. I've lost you again. I'm not able to hear. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello.
आपण ज्या व्यक्तीस कॉल करीत आहात तो व्यक्ती उत्तर देत नाही.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, may I know where are we? Like, what's happening? Because I couldn't see you, I couldn't hear you, I couldn't get the question. And are we on? It just says everyone can
Okay.
see and hear you.
Okay. Yes, we can hear you, and now we can see you. Now this is clear. Are you able to see me? Yes.
I'm not
Okay.
able to see. I'm able to see your window, but not you.
Right.
I'm able to see the Dream Book
Uh,
films, the second window. Yes.
yes. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I
can
was
you
going to
repeat the
pose you
question?
the pose. Yes, sir. So I'm
You're
going to
sounding
pose
it.
the question. The question, yes, I know there's an overlap and we'll have to bear with it. So, as the chief
Mhm.
mentor on Dream Books and Films, Brahmananji, can you give throw some light and can you give us insights? What can a person, a participant of the Dream Books film sessions, either it's a face-to-face session with you or with yourself to bring with another, for 4 hours or an 8 hour session, what can a person expect to get in the mentoring session and how to structure the product for a book or to into a web series? What are the top points that one can expect?
Well, it's so interesting that it's just a very very vast world that we live in of this books and publication and writing and quality writing and converting them into the content hungry web streamers and the film world. Everyone is looking for good content, and there are so many great writers, good writers who are there, but a lot of good stuff remains inside a drawer. It never sees the light of the day, it never reaches the right people. So this kind of a program becomes a window for them to know what exactly is it that they need to do in terms of creating a certain quality work. And once you have created a certain quality work, or even before that, what are the ways in which the worldly ways, the business ways, the accepted ways of reaching out and making that all important move, connect, approach in a certain way, which then translates into success and results. So basically, so ranging from a general overview of things, as to what kind of different works or ideas or programmings are in demand, how to match it. So you don't have to uh, you know tailor make yourself to the market as such. You must write, you must create things that you believe in, that you but there's a little understanding of the market which helps you to just fine tune it a little bit or align it a little bit with what's going on and what's needed. and that's something which needs to be understood by a lot of people who write good stuff. So how does this landscape continue to evolve, through time? That kind of a thing. What was in demand 10 years back, 5 years back, what is likely to come, what will always be in demand, and things like that. And when you have written it, how do you align it with the larger market realities? So basically, right from everything about how do we find a story to how do we create a story. So finding is one thing, creating is another. How do you create materials that align with this thing? How do you develop something like a pitch deck, which is basically nothing but a positioning deck? How do you create a sizzle reel or something that helps you, pad up your entire marketing docket? There are ways in which you can do that without really, breaking a bank. And how do you avoid over developing an idea? How do you make sure that that your idea is not underdeveloped or your script is not underdeveloped? So basically these kinds of things, the right balances. How do you package your project without really killing yourself? What are the elements that you need to understand to get the green light, at so many levels? There is something called pitch bible, which is becoming very popular. And again, pitch bible is something that you need to understand, but more than understand, you need to use your common sense. What was working 5 years back, 10 years back in terms of presentation or reach out has become much more demanding today. So one needs to understand, because without that, it doesn't make that dent unless the idea is really a genius idea when people will come to you. Okay, but mostly that doesn't happen. Then also, when do we actually get to make these? How do we make these things? How do you develop a concept? How do you visualize your writing into a film? How do you package your writing for business, whether it's for publication or for films? So all these kinds of things, in addition to, of course, convincing a producer or an investor, depending on what you want to do, and understanding of how either you think of ways or you collaborate with the right people who will then identify the financial viability of things. Now, whether it's financial viable or not, nobody has really seen, but there are enough indications today based on other reference points and all, where you can try and work out your ecosystem and understand these things a little better. All these things help. In addition to, of course, how do you uh, like dovetail them in a way that you are working? How do you get a producer, or how do you get a star? How do you get a star and then get a producer? Or how do you get a producer and then a star? Why? One needs to understand these things, because it's not very easy. It takes months sometimes to get through to them. But there are ways in which everybody who manages to do it. I mean, I can assure you that every single OTT thing that you see, every single movie that you see, a person who has started from the beginning, it's very unlikely that he has known everyone, or he has known the best of technician or the best of stars. But it's a very slow stepwise process. You put things together. So certain areas of project management which can add a lot of stuff to your artistic side, understanding, collaborations, these are hard realities, and these are exactly what you uh, you know decode in terms of myths and realities, and navigate it and
Right.
move forward. Move forward. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Brahmananji, you've given so many points. So, you are going to cover this in either that face to face or 4 hours or 8 hours, so depending whatever we take
Yes.
forward. But during these programs, this is the part where the participant can take care of the program and get mentored, and then it will be taken forward if you have seen this potential in the script to be making into a web series, and then the whole journey begins. Correct with this?
Mhm.
Am I understanding it and articulating it rightly? That you take it from
Yes.
here with, and if you've taken the ownership of it, you will also mentor them to walk them through this journey to make that so-called Bible, and then pitch it, and to for an OTT to get to commission it, or the next steps, right?
Yes. Absolutely. That's the idea. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
the idea is to make them aware. The idea is to make them believe in what they have. The idea, sometimes people don't have belief in what they have created, and sometimes they have wrong beliefs. Sometimes the the created thing is very average, but they think that that's the ultimate thing ever written. And sometimes they have actually written great stuff. They have great material, but they are not very sure about whether it deserves to be there, or even if they know that it deserves to be there, they're not very sure how to reach there. So these are the things which, when they get to know the way so many of us have gotten to know over a period of time, it helps them take those steps. It helps them uh, make those breakthroughs from a very stagnant point. I mean, sometimes they have created stuff and then they are just at a loss about what to do now with this. Okay. Or to make what you call informed choices, that they sometimes, I mean, somebody cons them and they fall into that trap. Or somebody tells them that, well, the rights of this will sell in crores, and then they keeps thinking of that. So it does not happen like that. I mean, there are so many slips between the cup and the lip, and you have to be practical, understanding, and yet optimistic and believing in. So these are the things that during the workshop and the sessions, we will try and share as much as possible, try and understand many special cases, maybe on a one-on-one sessions, where they have done certain things, certain many other things needs to be done, and they are at a loss to understand that gap. So if addressing that gap helps them take off, then, well, a one-on-one session is worth millions. So those are the kinds of things that our sessions will talk about, with illustrations, with examples, with case studies, with special cases, individual cases. And those are the so it opens them up to a lot of things, right from the creative side to the business understanding of side, to the snags that you are likely to come across. So you can call it uh, a very elaborate FAQ session, but in a structured kind of a way, and in a more personalized way, if it's a one-on-one session, because it's directly related with what they have come across, who have promised them what has happened, what has not happened, what looks difficult, where they are sitting on a gold mine and they don't realize it, or where they are thinking no end of their work, and at the same time it needs a lot of other works to how things work, what are the how things get released, or how things go on OTT, because it's become a very, very vast world. How do co-productions work, the designing, the creative design of something, the packaging of something, the access to money, how it's every project opens itself to different kinds of access to money. um, there are crowdfunding, there are grants. Most people have no idea about it, I must say, very little idea. And people who are the smart ones, they are doing it. But for every two people who are doing it, there are thousand more who deserve it, but they have no idea. They are at a loss. So these are the things that becomes eye opener, which a makes them aware of these things and makes them believe in their own stuff, that it needs to be taken if it's great quality, but it's been sitting idle. And if it's not in great quality, then they also in in very raw terms get to understand that, well, it's not what I am thinking of. It needs a lot of hard work, it needs a lot of
Yes.
smart work. So those are the kind of things that, I feel that anybody who has the passion, who has excitement, who has an idea, who thinks himself or herself as a writer, who wants to see it there, who has a capacity to dream, can get it over there eventually. But that journey, for some it's short, for some it's long, for some it's very confusing, but that journey is important. There's a line in Hindi, I don't remember by whom, that it's the difference between the people who play extra safe and the people who experiment. So it says that मंजिलें तो मिल जाती है भटकने के बाद भी, गुमराह तो वो हैं जो घर से कभी निकले ही नहीं. I used to use it a lot during the lockdown, but it's true for life. That मंजिलें तो मिल जाती हैं भटकने के बाद भी. In fact, अक्सर लोग भटकते हैं तो जाकर के मंजिलें मिलती है. But गुमराह तो वो हैं जो घर से कभी निकले ही नहीं. You know, in the in the in the in the race to play safe and not get lost, they have never stepped out, so they don't know what it is to you know experiment and fail and try and lose and things like that. So basically,
No.
a lot of these things gets talked about, from creative to business to marketing to positioning to the inside giant that you have hidden inside you, which needs to come out in order to do things.
Right, so very well said. Actually, at this point, what you just said is, गुमराह वो है जो घर से कभी निकले ही नहीं है. And we know in these times, घर से निकलना ही नहीं है. And what better time, what better time than to have this kind of reach right in, at your computer, to be able to understand how to structure it from experts in the field, which was not even there earlier. We had to go to some, find out, fend for ourselves, basically. And today it's right at a computer where you can learn this from Brahmanand Singh ji, and Dream Books Films brings you the entire whole hog, right? The whole thing, into how do you make it into a book, to web series, and you learn the craft, and it is not difficult. There is hand holding, and then from there you will take them to make it to a fruition. So I think it's a very comprehensive program that you are advising and mentoring, and very, very, what you call it, very deep and rich, because you're not going to stay at the surface, but also multiple interactions that you're going to do with the even whether and it's not about the numbers. It could be 4 participants or one-on-one, and then how we schedule it, and you see potential in their project, and take it from there to real, not just leave them as a, it's a structured project managed with a script or with an idea. So that's very promising. Not many have this happening currently, and I think we're very privileged to have it online. And have you be able to spearhead this for Dream Books Films? I think, yeah. And I will leave the myth question for the next time for our participants, because we do want to understand from Brahmaji is that what are those myths that we are all living with till then. For tonight, and today is evening in India, and I would not like to bother him anymore. It's almost like having an entire mentoring session, and this 20 minutes or 25 minutes has been very precious for us to understand what we can expect in the Dream Books Films program and workshops. And they are not a fixed date, so anyone can join us, and we will schedule it in a proper manner for the participants. And we're very happy to have your time on the schedule to mentor Dream Books Films, Brahmaji. So any parting points on this particular video before we sign off?
No, I think it's good to have people excited about what they dream about, and I think that's where there are many people who don't dream, you know, and this that's the only thing which doesn't have any GST, any tax, any prohibition, any censorship. You can dream what you want, and the best part is you can achieve anything you can dream. So anybody wanting to have, you know uh, nursing ambitions of writing or coming, you know taking it to OTTs or cinema or publications, they are 100% or 500% potential to turn them into reality, condition they work hard. you know that the second
Right.
part is
Yeah.
always a caveat. We can only mentor them to some extent, we can show them the way, but they will have to do all the hard work. Okay, nobody, that is something that can't be outsourced in most cases. Well, you can outsource a few things if you're very smart, but mostly
Yeah.
you have to do it yourself, and that's where the fun lies, that's where the excitement lies, I think. So those would be, a couple of things that one has to keep in mind. You want a dream, great, that's a great beginning. You want to achieve that dream, turn it into reality, that's even better. But in between the gap is, are you ready to work for it, whatever it takes? Workshops,
Yeah.
sessions, books, guidance, these are all very good, but you have to take that step. But yes, a great amount of
Mm,
energy comes in when you have good mentors, when you have good, openings, being seen, that, oh my God, why didn't I think like that? I always thought it was like this, but is it so simple? Or I thought it was so simple, is it so difficult? And how do I approach them to bridge the two? So those would be my basic two penny thoughts, and I think more when we meet in sessions.
yes.
Yes,
Yes, and no, so that's great. So these are just snippets what we are taking with you, Brahmaji, to show the direction. But what the participants will be able to get is that once there is a script and you think there is a fusion, we can make them bring it to a script. They don't need to become script writers. We can bring the whole team and the whole,
that's right.
there is
That's right.
the whole journey. So it is,
Mm.
yeah.
Not everybody
So
today needs to do
and under your
not
expert guidance,
yeah, not everybody today
yeah,
needs to do everything, but you have to do one thing which is just extraordinary, which in which you can excel. If you're good at that, if you're a good cameraman, you concentrate on camera. If you're a good storyteller, concentrate on story, not even a script. You can get that as an expertise area, but you can also learn that. So that's it. So I think all these things
right,
can be
right.
collaborated. The best success stories happen when people learn how to collaborate, and how to learn, and when they learn how to live with their limitations but expand their scope yet.
Yeah.
So all the
Yeah,
best,
yeah, right. And
and
so
wishing good luck.
thank you, sir. And your mentorship is, yeah, your mentorship is going to be very important on the program. And we have the books as well. And we will soon have the next panel with Ganesh, who's our expert mentor on the books as well, who will join us on the next session. For today, Brahmaji, thank you for your insights and for being on this evening show and session. And we sign off with your good night and your blessings.
Thank
Thank you.
you. thank Thank you, and good night to everyone.
Thank you. And so that was a live chat with Brahmanand Singh ji in Bombay, and more coming up. To learn what is the journey going to be when you take up a mentoring program with Dream Books and Films, and get directly mentored by chief mentors and advisors of the film fraternity, of the creative fraternity. And do write to us, learn about this, message me, WhatsApp me, Dreams Books and Films on the number given, so that we are able to connect and take your journey forward. Talk to you soon again. Take care. Take care, stay safe wherever you are. Good night. Thank you. Dream Books Films signing off.